All right, welcome. We are here. I'm Eric Wadara, the head coach of the Titans County College of Morris Titans eSports team, and we're here to discuss some highlights from last weekend's Clash play with one of our teams. Yep. So without further ado, John, you want to talk to us about the pick ban phase, the drafting?
This game was interesting because enemy team had like Fiddle and Ari like one tricks basically. They were playing this combo constantly in their games, like in their past like couple games that day, and they just kept winning with it, right? So we ban out Fiddle, we ban out Kai'Sa and Thresh because they seem to be some of their most played champions on the bot side. And then they ban out our Swain and Talon and Eve because we were playing it in the other previous games and kind of popping off on them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we picked up we picked up Graves, Ash, and Nautilus basically in like the first rotation. Most of his everything is just CC, just
Okay.
constant CC.
Yeah.
Only one ability that's not CC, and that's a shield to make himself tankier.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
and then we you mentioned Graves. Graves is uh what role is Graves playing?
He's
He's a
jungling.
jungler, and he's more of like a hard carry jungler.
Okay. So our first highlight
Yeah.
happens in top lane. Let's just watch it for a little bit. Who should I focus on? John?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So John is playing what character?
Okay. And to note, his passive, like after every so many seconds or like abilities cast whatever, his next auto attack heals him for a proportion of his max health,
Okay.
which is going to be kind of vital here.
Okay.
Um,
So let's keep an eye on Maokai.
so they start walking in because Galio and Gragas are actually roaming up here.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So they've kind of trapped Chimney. I jump in with Flash and W. We end up getting the 2 kills, and then it's only me, right? Stolid's walking up now. Yeah.
Oof.
And we were able to stop him from trying to kill me. I jump in and heal off of him to
Wow.
survive.
Oh my. Okay, so let's back up a little bit and let's see how this happened and why it's
How it
important,
plays
right?
out.
Yeah. So like you said, we got
I believe Chimney just ganked my lane or something, right? And we're both sitting up here, so
mm-hmm.
we weren't really prepared for the Galio Gragas roaming up here.
Okay. I like that you say you're not prepared, but you did just throw this item right into the bush, right?
I don't remember if in comms we like knew they were coming or I just threw that down.
Okay,
So
okay.
if you look mid, you actually do see some pings going off. So Ari's tower right now, those minions are kind of pushed towards her end. So what Galio's doing is it's the term's called shoving. So he's shoving the wave so that he's able to rotate to other parts of the map. So
Okay.
this way, with by him doing that, the minions that are shoving towards him won't get shot down by his tower, and it's a really common beginner thing that people do when they try to roam to other lanes. It's actually really good to do that. And you'll see that in this picture or in this clip we have right here. Stolid, who is playing Ari mid, actually is super late to the rotate because he's forced to kind of stay and defend the mid because the person pushed on him. He definitely could have rotated earlier for sure. He also could have just completely avoided just all the CS and just risked having to go top.
Yeah.
It's just very it's kind of hard to push a Galio who could potentially be sitting in a bush because if a Galio just gets a full combo on him, it could be really bad
Yeah.
news. So you have to play it safe.
Okay, you
Yeah.
see that control ward? No vision in that bush. Like Galio could just be sitting on that bush with like Gragas or something.
Yep. And
But
that river bush right up further river, he could just be chilling right there in that the middle river bush. And
oh yeah,
if
because
Stala just went straight in and didn't charm and Galio came straight out, it could be bad news real quick.
because we had Scuttle here, we actually did have vision of the Galio roaming up. It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Scuttle, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have vision of this what's this Galio's coming up
Galio.
and we got Gragas. This is Gragas?
The jungler.
Yep.
He's coming up as well. And then we have this guy that's already in lane that's there. And a few seconds ago, we see all the exclamation marks on the map. That means that you know there's trouble coming. I'm guessing Stolid pinged that or no?
It looks like the bluish green is blue team. The red is going to be red team, and red is what our color is this game. So
Right. So you have two people here in lane, if we want to just boil it down to as basic as possible, and three people are coming in for them, right? It's almost like a pincer. They're collapsing into top lane to try to surround you.
yeah,
And so you're backing out because you're at a quarter health. You drop this this present for Galio, and it hits Gragas,
I
right?
see. If you see the yeah, it does. And if you see on our champions, there is a red wolf, kind of indicating that the Galio, I believe, no, it was the Gragas Pop Predator,
Oh, I
which
see.
is
Yeah,
his rune. So like we kind of know like something's coming. It's
I
bad.
see. Okay. And then we do see Stolid is rotating up, right?
So if you look, yeah. So now if you look mid, you're gonna see kind of a reverse push. So he has a small wave that's gonna be going at the enemy's current full wave, but right behind him is gonna be his full wave. So at this point, the lane's gonna be now be pushing towards blue side.
Right,
So it
right.
kind of allows him to then be rotating. I mean, it was a little slower, but at the same time, like I was saying before, it's kind of risky just push checking, not knowing if he could just be in a bush at any moment and just jump out. But as said before, having a control ward down and then also scuttle right here, you can kind of narrow down, where the Galio went if you think about it. But obviously, in the moment, it's more of a, do I go up there right now? And sometimes it just happens where you don't think about, are they in this bush and is there more than one person in this bush?
Right,
And
right, right. Yeah.
before you unpause, I just want you to like take note. Like I'm about to I see an opportunity here, and I'm about to like take it.
Okay. Talk us through it.
Okay. Um. Well, like I don't remember what I was thinking in the moment, obviously, but I know that like I see that they have kind of low health bars, and I try to I flash W in to try to keep them in place for Graves to do damage
Okay.
to try to turn around like this like game, yeah.
So at
This
this
fight.
point you're turning around.
In a few seconds I will be, yeah.
He'll
Okay.
turn, and I believe he flashes into the bush on him.
I flash
Yeah.
W'd, yeah.
Okay.
Something else to note real quick before we get onto this, if you notice everyone's levels, so Chimmy's level 6, for everyone out there who doesn't really know the game, you have 4 abilities per character. Some have more, but the basic amount is 4. But
Uh-huh.
you don't unlock your 4th ability until you hit level 6, and that's your ultimate.
Okay.
So if you look, everyone here except for one person, which is the Gragas, who's level 5, everyone here except for him has his ult unlocked. So
yep.
that already is a huge indicator that even though it looks like it might be, rough for the red team, you could easily turn things around with a good CC chain and just being out leveled or out leveling
Levels,
them rather.
yeah, levels are really important for
Yeah.
combat stats and everything.
Right.
Like
People
I think,
definitely overlook them.
yeah, like each level is worth like hundreds and thousands of gold, I think.
Wow.
Something like that. I don't know the exact math on hand, but
Okay. So let's watch it happen in a little bit of a slower motion here.
see, I get in the bush. Jimmy's pretty low, but I don't want to give up on him. Okay, yeah, I see the orange is really low. Or no, I see the...
And they're trying to come in all on you, right?
Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, I flashed in and I W'd on orange to try to kill him because he was really low. And it
Jimmy
worked.
gets a really good flash off there.
We get Gragas super low. Take him down.
You
At
lose
this point,
Jimmy.
at this point, me and Jimmy are super low.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
at
but
this
then
point-
mid comes up to river, and with that, that'll be able to support. And later on, we'll see that it's be able to support and get the kill for, I believe it was mid.
And you know what they say, it's better late than never. So In this scenario, this is exactly what that means.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was a huge
Because
play.
if he decided, so if Solid just decided that, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it up top in time, he would have been able to kind of greed and just get tower platings.
I believe it
It's
would have been
something
a
we'll have
2
to
for
go
2.
over. Yeah, that's something we'll have to go over at another time as well. But it would have kind of been more of a greed situation. And in this case, it turned out well that he
Yep.
actually did end up rotating late.
Great. Yeah. So that was a good. That was a team play. The kills were 1-1, and now it's 4-2 in red team's favor.
Yeah,
So
we only lost 1, and we get 3 kills off of that, which is pretty insane.
yeah. So even if you've only ever heard of chess or the basic games, that's a pretty easy equation to understand. Lose 1, gain 3. Right. Okay. Here, Chimmy's doing his job, destroying stuff in the jungle, right? And
Getting
then,
gold.
but then we saw a ping, right? Someone pinged down here, and the ping is a communication uh, tactic that says, "Hey, team, look at the map. Something's going on right here." And so Chimmy sees that and gets the gold, and then immediately turns and comes down here.
Yeah, because it looks like they got vision on Nami with the Ash's hawk shot, and that like auto pings enemies if they're like if
Within
they
the
get caught in it.
vicinity.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna focus down here. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, he's on Nami, which is why he was trying to like walk towards it. Then he's thinking about going for Scuttle, but then they make the call to go in for the fight here because they
Okay.
see Gragas.
And let's watch the fight in real time.
Really good play there. We'll go over in a moment.
Yep. Get the triple kill. And then, of course, with the triple kill and the threat of blue team being anywhere on the map, they go ahead and take down Dragon, which will give them a buff for the, a bunch of the future. So, great. And that sort of like finishes the play here. But let's go back 15 seconds and see what actually happens in a more decent time. Or speed, rather. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm gonna get to the sketch here. Here we go. Let's annotate this. So Ash is in the middle, yeah?
Yeah,
Yep.
they think they got Ash caught out here. There's like 3 members on top of her, but support and jungle collapse in.
So Ash is in the middle, and we got 3 blues that are going in on her. Are the blue team popping their ultimates here, or anything? Like, are they
They're
losing their abilities in this
they're
play?
wasting their abilities on one person. This allows the jungler and the support to have a higher chance of killing them. Without the other abilities to support in the fight, jungler, the ADC and their support are just less likely to win the fight. And as we can see that Jimmy was able to take out 2 of them and still and the team fight goes in the favor of the red team.
Okay, so Chimmy's gonna come in and just, as you said before, deletes 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think it was with the ult, right? With the ult, or
It was W into dash in into Q autoing, I believe, and then he ulted,
yeah,
which is a huge chunk, huge burst.
Okay, and we're gonna watch that
While all of
really
that,
slowly.
while all of that's going on, you can see PK. He's actually casting his ult right now, and he casts it on the further person. And what that does is anyone who's caught between the shockwave that goes on the ground, it'll knock them up. And when they're knocked up in the air, they're unable to use abilities, they're unable to move. They're pretty much just stuck there until they land on the ground in order to do anything. So at this point, you'd think, oh no, that Ash, the Ash is down to what, a fifth of her health? You would think at this point it's pretty much done for her. But because of PK's CC, he's actually able to, come in clutch, as you'll hear probably a lot, and actually keep Ash alive.
yeah.
Yeah, so the Nautilus, as we mentioned at the beginning, has this giant anchor, throws it in the ground, and as Joey mentioned, he's targeting the farther opponent so that the closer one also gets hit by it. and that renders both of these
Immobile.
immobile for a
Mobile in
few
a sense.
seconds.
And the only one that can really do damage here is the Senna, which she doesn't have great sustained damage. She has a lot of.
And she also just used all of her abilities
Yeah,
right there, as
exactly,
you saw.
exactly.
So at this point, she's kind of just waiting for her abilities to come back up,
Uh-huh.
and all she can really do is auto attack. So she's kind of just out of the picture and not really doing much at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what allows Ash to get out of there alive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's take a look at that in 0.25 speed.
Yeah, so right there, you see both of them get knocked up. PK then also uses his Q to go in, which latches them to him, and they go to each other.
Yeah.
Since they're both CC'd, Chimmy is actually able to just completely annihilate both of them with ease. They didn't, they weren't able to move, they weren't able to run. PK hits his an auto attack, which is his passive makes it so it roots them, and that's another form of CC. They can still use abilities, but they're unable to move. And then, as you can see, Chimmy comes in, comes down, cleans up an easy triple kill, and they go and secure an easy dragon because there's no one to contest it after three of them just died, and none of our team, none of the red team, no one died, so they have pretty much zero capability of contesting dragon.
Nice. Yeah, so this is a great example of the absolute like teamwork that's required for.
Yeah, if you see here, we see that Gragas is going in. So Graves, instead of going for Scuttle, has to follow up on this so that we have a proper team fight.
Right, right. Yeah, so you're all like you're all communicating with voice, right?
Yeah.
I know that sounds dumb to say out loud. Yeah, you're all talking to each other. You're all pinging the map. You're all communicating in several different ways. And you all have like hundreds of hours of experience to understand what's happening. And yeah, this requires not just Chimmy getting the triple kill, but Nautilus,
To use
CCing.
it all.
It
Yeah.
also requires the Ash to stay alive.
Yeah, we can keep track of like when Ash is CC'd or not, because she can do damage still if
Yep.
she's not CC'd.
I believe I also saw an Ash ult in there. I'm not sure if I saw that correctly. And an Ash ult actually is a stun as well.
Yeah.
So
So just
that
even
there's
more CC.
yeah. So basically, it goes back to what we were saying, how they were so hard CC'd, and the Senna
She
down
used
there,
the
which
ult
is
there,
their
yeah.
yeah. So there's nothing left for them to do damage wise, and since they're just sitting there, Graves just the easiest cleanup he's probably had in a while.
Now
The-
I do want to ask one thing about this, and we don't have to go too far into what this means, but the Graves at some point gets 600 gold. Is that a bounty on one of the enemy's
No,
heads?
so he got a double kill, so it just added up together.
Oh, I see, I see. So since he
because-
killed
Yeah,
them
so
both,
300 each.
It's
got
because
it.
he literally got both kills at the same time.
Okay. Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to double check there because I do know that
Yep,
bounties
bounties do
play in.
exist.
Yep, and they're a nice little feedback
And
loop.
then right there, you saw he got 30 or 300 rather.
Yeah.
On the kill after, because that. So people also are worth different amounts of gold, not just when they have a bounty, but also if they, let's say they have 6 deaths and they haven't really done much in the game, they might only be worth like, let's just say 237. I think is
Wow.
a common number you'll see.
Okay.
So they start becoming worth less because they're I guess just worth less on their team to begin with. They're not really doing much.
Right. Worthless.
So that kind of helps. Yeah,
That's where
it's
we get the
worthless.
word.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
without worth.
It was
and
honestly
that kind of helps the team balance.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, John?
yeah, it was honestly from that point on that we kind of just had the edge over them.
Yeah, you're now up 2,000 gold, almost 3,000. You're up 5 kills.
Yeah. Could call it a mental edge too, because like that was like there's like 2 very sad plays for their team.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very feels good. It's not just what's physically going on, but there's definitely a morale that comes into sports, whether it's an eSport or football, soccer. It doesn't really matter. Everyone knows that there is a morale, and
Yep.
when the morale's low,
Oh,
people
yeah,
don't
definitely.
play at their peak. So
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to our last highlight here, which is a quote-unquote
Cleanup.
basic cleanup. and we'll try to walk. We'll watch it in real time. Who should I follow in this cleanup?
Just stay on Chimmy, I think,
Okay.
because he'll be kind of like the center of the focus, I believe.
All right.
And I could probably run this through in almost real time. So right there, he actually gets caught out and gets rooted. But as you can see, nothing comes of it. So at this point, the blue team is trying to figure out, can we contest this dragon? Red team, as you can see, is pulling the dragon out into river. The reason you do that is because you don't want blue team coming over the wall. And because of it, they rotated way too late and were unable to do anything about it. The Galio actually ults in, trying to do what he's supposed to do, is jump in on the team and provide some CC and make them back up. The only problem is at this point, the team fight, as you can see on top, there's 21 kills to 8. The red team's just way too fed, is the term. And it's kind of just like he was saying earlier, when I think the score was 3-8 when you said earlier that
Yeah.
it was kind of the turning point. At this point, it's pretty much all over. You can see on top there's a 10k gold lead, which is it's very big.
Yep.
And
We
you can't
also,
and so everyone knows you can't actually see this. So red team, they know they have a lead, but they're not able to see, oh, we have 10,000 gold over them. I mean, if you're really good at math, you might be able to count all the items, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever do that. So good on them if they do.
One thing I want to say, if we could go back to the fight, one thing that I saw that was really critical to, I think, for the red team's victory in that fight would be how separated Galio is from his team. Because Galio is pretty tanky; he can take good damage, and I think in that way for the team fight, for what if they could have won, is to let Galio be in front of the more vulnerable parts of their team. For example, the ADC or the support. The ADC does more damage, is one of the big parts of the team to deal damage, and the support is just be able to support the fight and keep their teammates alive. What they did is Galio, I think, misdirected, and he aimed towards someone else he shouldn't have, and thus it separates him from his team, takes part of them out, and you saw how he got melted from mid, than the Arya, absolutely destroyed, and thus that cleanup is just easier for the rest because you have Nautilus who can take some damage, even though he used, I believe, one of his items, but still have ability to clean up the rest of them. And with Galio gone, there's no blockage and
Right.
safety for the rest.
Right, and this is a purposeful maneuver, right? This isn't totally by accident. Maybe the Galio made a bad play, but like you could see the red team is grouped up here, and they can easily move together as a unit to stop the rest of the blue team from moving in.
Not
And
only
this is a
that,
really common. Yep. So this is a really common layout.
Yep.
So if you look where PK is, he's the tank role right now, and he's exactly where he needs to be. He's on the front line, making sure that whatever happens, they're not able to get on his Ashe, who's currently in the middle.
Yeah.
So this is a really important. If people overlook positioning a lot, I feel like, and they focus on flashy things, but positioning is a lot. While we're on the topic of positioning, you might notice how there's actually a 4v4 going on here. And this is actually a beneficial to the red team. And if you go to the top lane, or if you look on the mini map on top lane, Maokai is actually pushing top, which is forcing Ornn to go up there and counter him. And if he doesn't do that, there's a good chance that Maokai might take tower and inhibitor. And that's that's something that you can't just give up for just over a dragon. That's just not worth it. So someone was forced to counter, and by that being there, they don't have a tank in the bottom lane. Because at this point in time, how much does he have? 3,900?
He's got 3,700 health, yeah.
3,700? Yeah. So at that point in time, having someone who has that much health and they don't have him in a big frontline team fight kind of puts them at a huge disadvantage because, as you can see, red team has a really solid tank. And even though Galio is somewhat tanky, he's kind of in a position where he's kind of overextended. And I don't know if that's on him or if it's on his team, because when he ulted in, as you can see, as you can see, when he ulted in, there's really no explanation of why they'd be this split unless they just weren't communicating correctly.
I think they were scared with Graves' burst damage. Like, I feel like that he can deal a lot of damage on burst, and they were scared of him taking down
let's run this back.
Vulnerable.
Let's see this. Let's keep going. I want to see where the turning point happened. So Gragas actually gets a pretty decent ult right there, and puts the tank kind of puts the tank inside. So right here, you see how Galio is ulting? His entire team, so that big circle radius, that's Galio's ult. So at this point in time, the blue team should actually be all trying to converge towards the Ashe, because the Ashe is kind of caught out. So yeah, he's way over there. So his ult allows him to basically dive a good distance and knock up anyone who's inside that big circle. So if we play it real quick, at this point in time, you see two of the blue members actually trying to retreat. What they should have been doing is actually rotating up more towards the Ashe.
Yeah.
Because if anyone tried basically cutting them off, they would have gotten knocked up anyway. So I think this was just actually a overall miscommunication play on blue. I think they're probably timid, considering right now it's 8 to 9 on kills, and they know that they're not able to actually maybe win a straight up team fight. But at this point, this could have been a completely different fight if they acted when the Galio acted. Because I actually think in this scenario, Galio acted as exactly how he should have done. It's just that his team kind of fell back, and when they fell back, it allowed PK to just completely absorb 3 members while they took out Galio. And after once Galio was gone, they kind of just cleaned. There was really nothing left they could do.
Press tab. So we can kind of see the kill scores here. Like Senna's 0-5, Nami's 2-4. They're really scared to go in. They don't feel like they have enough damage.
I feel like something is that I think they want to get the shutdown gold on Jimmy, because if you can see in the fight, he's a bit separated from the team, but that doesn't mean that he's vulnerable. So I felt like they decided to go after him instead of Ashe, who doesn't have shutdown gold, but still is scary and dangerous. So I think that's one of their mistakes, is which target they were trying to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to echo something that Joey mentioned, which is this yellow circle here. That not only deals damage and will CC them, but it creates space, right? And you can see that Chimmy is like very specifically not going in here, right?
Yeah.
He's like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna skirt around
exactly
this.
how he should be.
Yeah, and Ashe is the same way. And like you said, if Blue were to go up here and really go in when they had that space, they might have been safe.
They would have definitely had a bigger part of the fight. They would have taken down Ashe, who is one of the damage dealers of the team, and then after that, they can just get Jimmy, and then they'll just have Nautilus, who can root them but can't deal damage to them. He can take damage, but he can't deal it. And
he's also a good deal lower than them.
Yes. With that, you can see even that the mid took some damage. So getting to the Ashe, then Jimmy, and then take out mid, and it would be an easy. It won't be easy, but it'll be more ideal than dealing with the just Nautilus, how they did it.
Yeah,
something else to look at that I just actually realized that's even more of a waste on what they did for their Galio, because I still think the Galio actually had a good ult. So not only does it knock up and deal damage, but it also applies a magic shield for his teammates.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you go back, they actually completely waste the magic shield.
Yeah.
Because they just completely ran from the fight, and by the time they got back into the fight, their magic shield's gone. So you'll see right here that purple, that's the magic shield. And if you keep going, you'll never even see them take any additional magic damage. Gragas takes some, but the other two just run. And now at this point, they've lost their magic shield. So they pretty much messed up completely. Yeah. I still, I'm gonna stick by Galio had a really good ult. I think I think their team just
they just mistargeted who they should have targeted.
Yeah. There's
Because
more
they
moving
wanted-
parts than what people see. Is
Yeah,
what I'm
like-
getting at.
What kind of happened was that Nautilus was like in the front line there, and like Galio's really gung ho about getting on that Graves, because Graves right now is probably our biggest threat.
Yeah.
And like if PK wasn't there to like block, and like Senna Nami could probably just walk up and do damage to the Graves and try to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And get that bounty, the shutdown gold, like you mentioned, and that springs them back into the fight. It's a rubber banding mechanic, right?
Yeah, Graves and Ari are really ahead here on our team.
And of course, none of it would be possible without what Joey mentioned, John's distraction up top. That keeps their big beefy tank out of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all connected. Although they're on separate, almost opposite ends of the map, they're all talking together. They're all collaborating in order. They're all one engine, with
Yep.
5 different cogs moving.
But yeah, so kind of what we're going back to is it's more than just flashy play. So we kind of showed you a flashier play earlier, and then this one, there wasn't anything flashy about it. If anything, it seemed like the enemy team had a more flashy play.
Yeah.
But just goes to show you that there's a lot more things going on behind the scenes than just
Just the
just the
kills.
flashy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always about
Obviously,
taking advantage. Oh, sorry.
yeah, obviously, as you just saw from the leaderboard, there's a lot to kills, and it makes a huge difference. But there's been a lot of games you'll see, professional games, where they're definitely down really bad, but all it takes is one really good team fight, and they could turn it around, and the game can just be over. The enemy team could be up, let's just say 5,000 gold, which is quite significant, and all it takes is just one misplaced team fight from the enemy team, and it can just completely turn the game around. We've already seen that a few times in Worlds, and I'm sure we're going to continue to see that pretty much forever, because that's how the game is built.
Yeah.
It's more than just who's fed and who has more items.
All right. Well, that's going to be our first highlight reel for our team playing in clashes, and thank you all for joining me and helping me to parse what's going on in this game. And if you're at home watching, stick around, check us out on YouTube, Twitch, wherever. We're on Twitter as well, and yeah, we'll get better. We're still working out some kinks, but yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll be playing some more. So good luck and have fun.